and welcome you back to 5 Minutes with KeRusso. Good to have you here. I'm enjoying this time I get to spend with you. I hope that you enjoy every time you watch one of these videos. I know that Whitney and others who have been sharing with you in the past were blessed by the experience, and I trust that they were a blessing to you. All the people that are lining up to start sharing some things with you about following Jesus starting in June. And maybe it'll go all the way through the summer. I don't know. They're excited about it. You're going to be blessed by them. They're going to be blessed by you. I hope this little YouTube channel becomes a special place in your life and the lives of other people that you pass the information on to. That's what I hope for. I want to talk to you today in this little segment about this book we call the Bible. Why is it important to have this? You know, a lot of people have Bibles. Sometimes they have multiple Bibles, but it's always seems to be on the bestseller list every year, but it also is a book that gets neglected and just sits around and nobody does anything with it. Why do we need the Bible? You'll notice every video we do on this channel, we're drawing you into the Bible somewhere. Why? Let me share with you just a little information from a letter called 2 Timothy. There's a guy by the name of Timothy who lived about 2,000 years ago, and the Apostle Paul had trained him and equipped him and left him in his town called Ephesus where he could serve people there and draw them closer to God. And Timothy was struggling. Listen to the kind of world Timothy lived in. Paul wrote about this in 2 Timothy chapter 3. It says, "But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to the parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying his power." Yeah, look at that. And you're thinking, that's the United States 2021, right? But it wasn't. This was Ephesus in around 66 AD, 65, 66 AD, somewhere around there. So this is like a mirror image, it seems like. And Timothy's living in that culture and struggling with it. And Paul encourages him in this letter, and one of the things he encourages him to do is to go back to the Bible. Now, his Bible was the Old Testament, but this is what he wrote just a little bit later in the letter. He said, "But you continue in what you have learned and have become convinced of, because you know those from whom you learned it, and how from infancy you have known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Christ Jesus." The Scriptures were powerful then, and they're powerful now. And Timothy needed to be drawn back to those and know how to use those Scriptures. And Paul will say that to him in this letter. But you and I had the same need for this book. You and I had the same need to know this book. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you a confession here. Much of my life I've spent as a preacher. And early in my life as a preacher, when I'm opening this book and teaching, and I'm studying this book to preach to other people, to teach other people. But early in my life, even as a preacher, I hated reading the Bible. I didn't like just sitting down and reading it for myself, to read it to teach somebody else. Sure, but not for me. And how hypocritical can you be? 12, 13 years ago, I made a commitment to God. I'm going to read through this book every year. And I've been doing that. I'm not saying that to you so you can say, "Hey, wow, this Bobby's a pretty cool guy." I didn't. I'm saying that because I want you to know it's been a blessing. Every year I go through this book, I am blessed. It shapes my thinking. It helps me get through the day. It helps me treat people in different ways. My ways of thinking become more lined up with what God's ways of thinking are because I'm spending time with Him. There are people who talk about God speaking to them literally in a dream, or they hear a voice speaking to them. I've never had that. But I tell you what, every time I open up this book, God speaks to me through this book. And you can have that same blessing. It can make you wise for salvation in times like what we live in, just like the times Timothy lived in. You don't have to follow the way of the world and live the way everybody else seems to be living. Spend time with God in this book, and He'll show you a different way, a better way. So be blessed. We'll see you again on Monday. You can leave any comments. You can send me an email, booksbykerusso@gmail.com. And by all means, read this book, the Bible. And I hope we get a chance to keep drawing you into it, and others that you would share this channel with. We'll see you next time.